Japan's former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has been a force to be reckoned with. He has made China face many sleepless nights, given his foreign policy choices and bringing China out of the self-restrained pacifism towards a renewed proactivism, which to an extent was not imaginable for many in the post-World War East Asia. It has often been said that it was the Japanese investments in the 1980s that made China the factory of the world, and that it was Shinzo Abe who put in motion the beginning of the fall of the Chinese economy. Although Shinzo Abe has resigned from the position of Prime Minister of Japan, if the post-retirement Japanese political scenario is to be taken at face value, then it is quite obvious that he will continue to hold power even after his retirement, and his economic and security policies to contain Chinese belligerence will continue with increased rigor. After the retirement of Abe, it was speculated that the country will yet again plunge into an era of instability, and the policy of a collection of democracies coming together to counter the overtly aggressive and bullish China will fade away. However, the coming of Yoshihide Suga, a longtime confidant and the right-hand man of Shinzo Abe, was a signal in the right direction. It was also a signal to all the analysts beyond the East China Sea in Beijing that Shinzo Abe and his proactive foreign policy will stay, and he will be controlling the things from behind, as Abe holds a lot of influence on the LDP government. Whilst going out, Prime Minister Abe gave his long-standing ally India a parting gift: the historic Mutual Logistics Support Agreement, which will allow Indian and Japanese militaries to access each other's bases for logistics support in face of growing Chinese misadventures in the East China Sea and the Himalayas. It is not only about what Abe did before leaving his office, but also the actions of his successor are in exact line with the proactive foreign policy that he had stipulated for the Japanese. It is proven by the increased strategic economic participation of Tokyo way beyond its waters and in the whole of Indo-Pacific. This is exactly the set of actions which a section of realist scholars would have expected from Abe after diluting Article 9 of the Japanese post-war constitution to a position where it stands toothless. It is the policies of Shinzo Abe and his behind-the-scenes support and coordination directing and dictating the policies of intense militarization which the country is following. Be it the conversion of the helicopter carriers into aircraft carriers with a capability of holding fixed-wing fighter jets, the production of submarines, initiating the process of building next-gen Japan-made fighter jets, deploying F-35s, signing military agreements with Australia and selling weapons to Vietnam, as well as increasing strategic relations with Southeast Asian countries in coordination with the other Quad countries. All these efforts are taking place after Shinzo Abe left the office of Prime Minister of Japan. The sheer continuity of these policy decisions of Abe means that the Japanese government is filled with legislative representatives that still follow the lead of Shinzo Abe. The policy of proactively bringing democracies and like-minded countries of the Indo-Pacific together, be it through trade and economics or strategically and militarily, has been one of Abe's greatest gifts to the world. Shinzo Abe had even rolled out a massive financial package to incentivize companies looking to shift base out of China back to Japan or to countries like India and Vietnam early last year. While being in power, Abe dealt the biggest of blows to the Chinese government in 2020 along with India and the USA, of which the activation of the Quad was one of the biggest eyesores for Beijing. The policies of his successor and former right-hand man Yoshihide Suga are in line with Abe's policies and are even going up a notch. Thus, if we can consider all these points as the precursor of what is going to come in 2021, then we can very confidently say that Japan is going to be led by the people who are going to toe the line of Shinzo Abe and will follow his directions from behind the scene.